Hello, everyone. So today we're going to go over chapter 13, which chapter 13 is just a continuation of Excel. So we're really not going to spend a lot of time on it. But one thing I want to go over is a trend line. So whenever you're creating a plot, especially in chapter 13, there's going to be some questions that's going to ask you to, add your trend line and show your resulting equation and your R2 value. All right. And so this trend line, which is depending on the data that you're displaying, the trend line basically allows you to show your data in a linear format. So really, I just want to jump into it. Let me get out of this. You can see these slides, view these slides within your content on the Blackboard. So please go in and take a look at this. But I want to just go straight to Excel. Now, this is your the data. If you look at example in chapter 13, if you look at the review questions, these are chapter review questions, and this is question number 2. This is question number 4. Show you that really quickly. So this is review questions number 4, and I'll probably just assign this to you. So you just have one, and I'm only going to do part A. All right. But it says, okay, you have this data years from 1967, which is your X, and then your minimum gear size from years from 1967. So 0 years from 1967, 4, 8, 17, etc., etc. Years from 1967. And this is how your gear size changed in millimeters. All right. And so the first thing we do, we'll put these numbers in the Excel. And then we'll put the gear sizes in Excel, just as I have here. Just as I have here. And then I could just create my plot. And we just obviously you know how to do this portion, but just for the sake of time, just go in, insert scatter plot. We'll do a plot with let's do scatter plot. Scatter plot with lines. And I'm not gonna worry about the title for the sake of time. You could go on and obviously you could change the title, or you can add your like something, and then go over here, right click on my axis. That's what I'm gonna do. Type, nope, I want to do that. I want to edit my layout. That's what I want to do. And so edit my layout, and then this here. Here. Yes. All right. Yeah. So just a little information, but to add your trend line, you're going to right click. First, you'll select the plotted line that you have. You'll right click, and then you'll say add trend line. Now you can, what you're trying to do is make these data points linear. All right. So if it was logarithmic, we go logarithmic. All right. If it were exponential, we would go exponential. But the trend line needs to become linear. So obviously it's not that one. So let's just go back to linear. And then you come down, it says display your short equation. So when you display your short equation, you see right off the bat that A is linear to equation. That's a linear equation. And then go back to it. Obviously, you don't need these. Oh. All I'm trying to do is get back to where I was as opposed to. There we go. So if I actually select that trend line, it brings me back to where I was. And here I said display the equation, which is this. And then I'll select my R value. And that's all you have to do for A. All right. And then you come to B, answer the B according to this model. How many years does it take from any point in time for the minimum gear size to be cut in half, right? And you would just use your equation to solve for the X, because you use to solve for your Y. So what point in time would your gear size be cut in half? All right, and so you use your equation to figure that out. Because if you're trying to cut it in half, what would be the gear size, half the gear size, and say you pick 2 points. So if you went between this point 0 to 2 times e to the -1, and you would go, what would be half of that? You would pick that, plug that in for y, solve for your x, and that'll give you the time. So that's really all you have to do. So B is pretty simple, and then C also is according to the model, during what year will the smallest gear be 1/10 the size of the smallest gear in 2009? So you find the smallest gear in 2009. 2009 is a little over 32 years past. So it's not 39 years, because you do 39 years, that wouldn't be 2009. I think that's 2016. Nope, I was wrong. 2006. So 39 years puts you at 2006. So you would actually have to interpolate. So according to the model, during what year would the smallest year be 1/10 the size of the smallest gear in 2009? Obviously, this doesn't go to 2001, it goes to 2006. So you have to interpolate that. But here again, you can use your equation to solve for that, because you know the equation. And so your year X to get to 2009, that would be 42 years. Or is it 52? I'm bad at math, so yeah, it's 42 years. So 42 years, you type in 42 years, and that'll give you the grain size or the gear size in 2009. And then they're asking you to do, according to the model, during what year will the smallest gear be 1/10 the size of the smallest gear in 2009? So you saw for the gear in 2009, And then you multiply that times 1/10. And then you put that back into y, that year size into y, and then you solve for the x to determine what year that would be. All right, and that's pretty much how you do that. So that's pretty much all I have for chapter 13. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.